As a fan of old games, you know how special it feels to find a title that captures the essence of that era. I'm not talking about simple re-releases, but modern games that are made with the same passion and technique as the classics. Today I present 10 new games with a retro feel, all with mechanics and visuals that bring back nostalgia without neglecting current quality. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, a 2D beat-em-up action game, announced in 2025 during Gamescom Opening Night Live. Developed by Bitmap Bureau and published by Limited Run Games in partnership with Mattel, the game will be released in 2026 for PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch 2. Inspired by the iconic animated series from the 80s, the title promises a nostalgic experience with retro pixel art visuals and classic arcade gameplay. The game is a side-scroller beat-em-up with mechanics reminiscent of classics like Final Fight. Players can control iconic characters like He-Man, Teela, and Man-at-Arms, facing Skeletor and his henchmen in 12 varied levels. The gameplay includes light and heavy attacks, blocking, throwing weapons like He-Man's sword, and special attacks that consume health, but can be recovered with items like food found in the scenarios. The game supports a 2-player cooperative mode, increasing the arcade fun.
Classic arcade controls. It's powered-up pixel perfection for your gaming console or personal computer. He-Man and the Masters.
Announced as a tribute to the arcade games of the 90s, Marvel Cosmic Invasion features 15 Marvel heroes facing the Annihilation Wave led by Annihilus, promising an action-packed and nostalgic experience. The game follows the classic beat-em-up style with intense combat and lateral progression. Players will be able to choose from a wide range of Marvel heroes such as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America, each with unique abilities. The gameplay promises to be accessible but with enough depth to attract longtime fans of the genre. The Cosmic Swap system allows you to choose 2 heroes per phase and switch between them instantly, creating unique combos and special attacks. This adds strategic depth to the combat. The visuals rely on vibrant pixel art, inspired by the comics of the 90s, with detailed animations and varied scenarios. The soundtrack and effects evoke the epic atmosphere of Marvel's cosmic stories. The game will have local and online multiplayer with dynamic entry and exit, as well as crossplay between platforms. This ensures accessibility and cooperative fun for groups of friends. The proposal is to be a tribute to the golden age of comics, but with modern mechanics and accessibility for all audiences, pleasing both old and new fans. Knockoff Battle for Imagination is an indie game scheduled for the 4th quarter of 2025, with release for PS5, PC, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch 2. Inspired by toys and cartoons from the 80s and 90s, this fighting game puts action figures coming to life in combats full of humor and nostalgia. The cast consists of caricatured characters, each with their own moves and styles. The fighting system is fast and technical, with aerial combos, assisted movements, and flashy specials. The visuals mix scenarios inspired by children's rooms, toy shelves, and imaginary worlds with a vibrant, cartoonish style. The game will have rollback netcode for fluid online matches and crossplay between platforms, in addition to modes for single-player and competitive multiplayer. Knockoff Battle for Imagination has the potential to stand out for its originality and creativity. If it manages to deliver innovative gameplay, impactful visuals, and an engaging story, the game can become a cult success, attracting players looking for retro games.
Let's go! Mighty Reps!
Yeah! Pegasus class, go! Yeah! Going up! Yeah! Flame Rush! Blazing Talon! Yeah! Flame Rush! Flame Rush! All ready? Yeah, 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 yeah. Pegasus Flash, go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Rising Phoenix.
Mina the Hollower is an anticipated action-adventure game in the Metroidvania style, developed by Yacht Club Games, known for Shovel Knight. The protagonist Mina explores a gothic world, promising an experience rich in exploration and combat. Inspired by classics like The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Mina the Hollower combines non-linear exploration with agile combat. Mina uses a whip as her main weapon, with mechanics reminiscent of Castlevania. The game features dungeons, puzzles, and varied enemies, with progression based on acquired skills. Yacht Club Games promises a polished experience with support for various platforms. The game adopts a retro aesthetic in pixel art, but with modern animations, evoking the era of the Game Boy Advance. The Gothic world is filled with dark environments, castles, and mystical creatures, creating an immersive atmosphere. The soundtrack, composed by Yacht Club, is expected to complement the narrative with melancholic and epic tones. After the success of Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Games carries great expectations for Mina the Hollower. Initially announced as a Kickstarter project, the game gained attention for its art direction and promise of refined gameplay. Neon Inferno is a first-person action and shooting game scheduled for October 2nd, 2025, exclusive to PC. The title promises an intense experience with a cyberpunk aesthetic, promising fast-paced combat in futuristic urban scenarios. This run-and-gun inspired by Contra and Wild Guns is set in a dystopian New York of 2055, dominated by criminal factions. The player controls Angelo Morano or Mariana Vitti, assassins from a crime syndicate, facing rivals and bosses in intense battles. The gameplay alternates between combat in the foreground and background, with the bullet time mechanic to return projectiles to enemies. The visual and pixel art is detailed and stylized with a cyberpunk aesthetic, accompanied by an energetic soundtrack. The game will have local and online cooperative mode, in addition to a challenging arcade mode for veterans of the genre. Neon Inferno offers a modern pixel art visual style with an evocative soundtrack, creating an elegant 2D action experience with a cyberpunk theme. The game also has an arcade mode for an extra challenge, in addition to different difficulty levels to cater to all types of players. An interesting feature is the option to play in cooperative mode with a friend, doubling the firepower and fun. Each mission culminates in a battle against unique bosses with multiple attacks and phases, testing your skills to the fullest. Mayhem Brawler 2 is the direct sequel to the urban beat-em-up that won fans in 2021. The new game expands the universe with a narrative that mixes police realism and urban fantasy. The plot puts the heroes of Stronghold against a threat that connects two dimensions, the real world and a mystical plane inhabited by supernatural creatures. The game maintains the beat-em-up style with hand-to-hand combat, but promises new mechanics, such as additional characters and expanded abilities. The first Mayhem Brawler allowed narrative choices that altered the course of the story, and it is expected that the sequence will refine this system. Support for cooperative multiplayer is expected, following the genre standard. Mayhem Brawler 2 mixes comic book aesthetics with urban and supernatural elements, such as gangs and mystical creatures. The pixel art visuals of the original should return, but with improvements in animations and details. The narrative will likely continue exploring a fictional city full of conflicts between factions. The cooperative mode now supports up to 4 players, both locally and online, with crossplay between platforms. There is also an arena mode for combat against waves of enemies. Alabaster Dawn is a 2.5D action RPG developed by Radical Fish Games, the creators of Crosscode. The game combines elements of action and RPG, offering an immersive experience in a dark world. The release of Alabaster Dawn is scheduled for early access on Steam in 2025. The story of Alabaster Dawn revolves around Juno, the marginal chosen, who awakens in a world devastated by the shadow of Nyx. Nyx transformed the world into a desert, causing the disappearance of the god and his people. Juno's mission is to restore the world and bring everything back. The game features a deep and engaging combat system, inspired by titles like Devil May Cry and Kingdom Hearts. Players can choose from 8 different weapons, each with its own moves and abilities. In addition, the game includes 4 elements that can be used in combination with the weapons, providing diverse strategic options during battles. Alabaster Dawn also has a unique 2.5D art style, combining pixel art with a subtle 3D perspective. The game world is vast and transforms as the story progresses, with settlements evolving from ruins to bustling cities. Players can expect challenging puzzles and secrets to discover as they explore the world. Replaced is a 2.5D action and platform game with a cyberpunk aesthetic, developed by Sad Cat Studios and scheduled for the second quarter of 2026, exclusive to PC and Xbox Series. Announced a few years ago, the game has attracted attention for its stunning visuals and intriguing narrative, centered on an AI protagonist in a dystopian world. Replaced combines action, platforming, and narrative elements with fluid combat and exploration in a retro-futuristic world. The protagonist is an AI in a human body, and the gameplay reflects his struggle for identity. Mechanics include shootings, stealth, and puzzles, with choices that impact the story. The game is praised for its cyberpunk aesthetic and pixel art, with detailed scenarios of an alternative 80s city. Dynamic lighting and visual effects create an immersive atmosphere. The narrative explores themes of existentialism, technology, and humanity, with a vibe reminiscent of Blade Runner. Replaced is one of the most anticipated indies, thanks to impressive trailers and a promising demo. Sad Cat Studios has earned praise for its attention to detail, but delays, originally scheduled for 2022, have generated some frustration. The 2026 date suggests a focus on polishing, increasing expectations.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Rubinite is a 2D action game in pixel art style developed by Cup Dog Games, with a focus on combat against challenging bosses. The game stands out for its unique core mechanic called Focus, which allows players to identify the weak points of enemies through careful observation and execute precise attacks. Players will follow Ruby, a princess who escaped from the Scarlet Kingdom and embarks on a journey of revenge to reclaim her kingdom. The gameplay of Rubinite revolves around deadly battles against the blood recipients. Ruby's knife, by itself, is not enough to defeat them easily. She needs to locate the pure blood crystal of each enemy and deliver fatal attacks to survive. By defeating each blood recipient, Ruby absorbs their power, enhancing her abilities for the next combats. On her journey to reconquer the Scarlet Kingdom, Ruby will face several blood recipients, including ancient mystical cults, immortal symbiotes, and the source of the plague. Each monster becomes progressively more dangerous, requiring Ruby to perfect her skills and combat strategies. In addition, the creation of diverse talismans allows players to shape their own combat style. Katanaut is a single-player adventure RPG set in an open fantasy world. The game takes place in the world of Earth, a vast and diverse land home to a variety of cultures and ecosystems. Players will take on the role of a Katanaut, a chosen warrior tasked with protecting Earth from a dark force known as Voidmaw. Gameplay in Katanaut is focused on exploration, combat, and character progression. Players will be able to explore the world of Earth freely, discovering new locations, secrets, and challenges. Combat in Katanaut is real-time and strategic, requiring players to use a variety of weapons, skills, and tactics to defeat their enemies. Throughout the game, players will be able to progress their character, learning new skills, finding powerful equipment, and customizing their build to suit their playstyle. One of the unique features of Katanaut is its focus on player decision-making. Throughout the game, players will face difficult moral choices that will have a significant impact on the world and the characters around them. These choices will have far-reaching consequences, shaping the narrative and determining the fate of Earth. Visually, Katanaut features a vibrant and stylized art style that brings the world of Earth to life. The game features detailed environments, intricate character designs, and stunning visual effects. The game's soundtrack is also noteworthy, with haunting orchestral music that perfectly complements the immersive gameplay. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video.